significant top frag. It feels a little upside down, but the map pick of AVE, it felt like a little bit of a dice roll, this one, going towards Ancient. Neither team plays it all that often. Neither team has the best stats in the world on it. But as you said, they looked solid when they faced Entropic yesterday, AVE, and potentially now an opportunity to do something. They've picked up the utility for an early B execute. Smokes for the short and long lanes. Flashes over the tops and a molly just for the after plant. Long lane will be the first issue, though, and Norway's going to grab a freebie. The smokes a little late on their way up, and they actually opt for dig and short, and a very deep short smoke as well. Norway straight through it with a second onto Rasian. They have got him isolated now, but he's still fragging out. A triple from Norway. He's losing teammates, but this looks fantastic now for the CT side. Sviat and Sugar utterly pinned in. The bomb is still deep in towards CT. The flank onto Sugar is excellent. Nave, well, it just feels like they got their lines crossed here. A 1v4 for Sviat to try and deal with. He's going to try and be cheeky around the smoke. Seized, going through it as well. Gets the better of him, and Singularity have the pistol.
Fantastic start, and obviously great work from Norway, just tapping heads as they moved on in. But even then, the reactions, the call to push around through lamp and catch that player with the flanker still as well. Just good communication from Singularity. And that's what we need to see, not just want to. If we want to see, I suppose, a longer series, then we definitely do need to see them taking it up a notch in pretty much every regard as to what we see on Overpass. And that's a good start. We're only going to see the eco as well from AVE. They actually don't decide to invest anything into this round. It is going to be just all Glocks across the board, so it'll be tough to really get anything done, I'd imagine, but we'll see what the plan is. So far, group up outside B, they've got one man outside of A main, so perhaps the hope is to catch a player around lamp and maybe force some aggression then through A main, because Ryzen, at least a moment ago, was just kind of sitting up close on main in a bit of a peculiar position. This is going to be a struggle, especially against the MP9s and lamp.
Yeah, Dealer Does is in a fantastic spot. He has actually just bailed out of lamp as they instead look to split mid. And there is half a gap is what I'm going to call it here. You've got Norway with the AUG holding deep CT, seized on the crack angle, has just spotted them crossing and will start to get some damage down. Sugar down to 10 HP. They're going to try and split in towards A, and Guardian on the UMP, the first man to be tested. Only a 1-for-1, not quite as solid as the MP9. And Rasian now with an SMG in hand, looking to do a little more damage, but the crossfire again is well set for this CT side. Rasian on that UMP, though, continuing to frag, and he's actually got another 2 quick spray downs, get them the bomb plant, and somehow they've got themselves a 2-on-4 here. There is unarmored players and plenty of them. Dealer Des on the initial spray down will deal with Sviat, but they've got an M4 in the hands of Poria, and if Rasian can even get one more kill, this round starts to get really nasty. It's the double temple take coming in for Singularity. They've got a flank going on in the meanwhile. Sugar only 10 HP though with that Glock, and Dealer Des has now dealt with the side player. Poria on his own can't quite dial that spray in, and it's a solid recovery from Singularity. Sugar doing what he can, but he can't find the kill.
A bit scary for a moment, since we did have in that previous game Sugar kind of popping off. Not really in the clutches though. I think he was more so doing pretty good in the entries, was enjoying the Mach 10 a lot. But again, since that was the eco in from AVE, they are more than happy with what they were able to achieve. They make that a lot closer than it ever really should have been, getting a bomb plant and some kills out of it. And as you can see, forcing pretty much all of the money to be reinvested into this round for Team Singularity. They avoided what would have been a bonus round with some weaker guns, obviously. But even then, they've still got that MP9 into the hands of Norway, so it's not perfect here. There's definitely a big opportunity for AVE off the back of that damage now to go ahead and snatch themselves some early control. And the boys on Team Singularity, though, rather definitely do not want to let that happen. Guardian, though, he gets the op-out early. We said he struggled on the previous map back on Overpass, so it'd be nice to see him getting a few kills here in the early rounds, getting a bit of confidence going in himself. We know what he is capable of. The flash, that's actually a team flash that works against them, but it pulls Norway into the aggression. And unfortunately for the boys, for Team Singularity, he gets punished horribly for it. I was very surprised he went forward on that, because he had the setup with the Leda so that they could play the 1-2.
They want the mid CT control. Guardian, the man to try and contest it. He's got support from the Donut as well. He's expecting someone, perhaps not this close. Does hit the flick. Sugar goes down, and now more aggression. Dealer Des is going to catch a full execute being lined up. Clean headshot onto Sviat. Drops the smoke to escape. Poria, meanwhile, has at least dealt with Clack, so they keep it competitive in the 3-on-3, and that opens up the A site near enough entirely. Seized is only just starting to make the rotation. They've realized it on AVE. The bomb is going to make its way out. Seized to try and deny the cross, but with the smokes going down, it will be a free plant. Waterfalls to get that bomb dialed in, and the chaos of Ancient continues. 3 on 3. The timing's going to be absolutely everything here. The afterplant position's already solid. Poiria's got himself up on the self-boost. Waterfalls deep in towards Donut, and a mid-flank for Raijin if he wants it. Bomb a third of the way gone. They do have defuse kits, and they do have a smoke to potentially put down onto that bomb. As C spots out the first. Now they lock that out with the smoke, and there's 2 players there. It's really going to be all on Poria from the self-boosted angle to get it done, and Guardian just wanders in, not quite aware. They're on the bomb now. Dealer, they're sticking it inside of the smoke. They can see his feet, but they're not going to punish it. Dealer Des pops out aside of the smoke and somehow still manages to nail down that ninja. A third on the board for Singularity. And AVE missing some big opportunities.
Yeah, I think the smoke rather, probably a little bit thicker, I would guess, for the players, because as you said, for us there, it did look like a little bit of the leg was coming out. It could have also, in fairness, just been the high intensity of the situation that caused the player to slightly miss it, but either way, it's very unfortunate. Singularity just sticking out the bomb defuse and taking themselves a 3-0 in what was just such a fantastic opportunity for AVE right there to get themselves, obviously, the opening gun round, and with it, completely break the CTs. But they're not going to give up on it quite yet. They do want to keep the pressure on. Aggression again from the MP9 is going to be denied. Seized, I think, trying to push up on mid is also going to get taken out. And very quickly, we're left in a 5-on-3 in favour of AVE.
A little bit of breathing room bought. Of course, this map does lean towards the CT side, so understandable that Singularity would have the early momentum. Setting up for the A execute now, RV. Aggression again down towards B, and Raijin again caught looking the wrong way by Dealer Des. The timing through that lane have been awful. We'll give the game away a little bit. Information to be gathered, fast rotation to come through, but again, Norby with only an MP9 to work with, very isolated in towards short. The set execute, the smokes keep him out of this fight. Going with the idea of going through the smoke. They try and bait him in with the first, and this smoke's actually got a little bit of a gap in it. Norby could have looked to punish. Instead, opts to wait for the team, and again, Sugar pushing through the smoke, not clearing his corners. Dealer Des catches him. Poria does very well to react to the MP9 in time. Waterfalls this time up on the self-boost, makes it a 1v3. Guardian needed his teammates to get a little more of the lifting done there. Only a scout to work with for the AWPer, and Poria is going to be able to punish a missed shot. AVE have their first. And the pressure has been so relentless, so consistent, that even just one round going AVE's way pushes Singularity back onto that eco.
Yeah, I mean, it had kept them, honestly, on the weaker bias throughout these past couple of rounds, sure. So it's been pretty effective just keeping that pressure on. Again, a couple of players struggling in the early moments as well in terms of the frags. Deledes, obviously, in Norway were looking pretty good, but we've yet to really see the rest of them get going, just because they didn't need to in the initial couple rounds, and obviously struggled there in the previous one. CIS, though, this time his mid-aggression goes a little bit better. Doesn't push all the way up, and did, I believe, get caught between a couple of Molotovs, so was in a pretty awkward position, but he gets away with the 1 kill, and on top of that, a small bit of damage onto Sfia. Problem being, he had the only M4 that was in play, so the question is now, does his teammate manage to move back in and actually recover control of it? And I believe he has. Yeah, Guardian's already gone forward. Maybe a couple players pushed up on B. I was going to say this could be a strong position. They decide to push down on Deledes, or on Raijin rather. It's Deledes who gets himself the trade. And now they've got an extra rifle to work with. An AK, an M4, a Deeg. They've got Kevlar and everyone. And honestly, some pretty forward positions as well that are going to make this difficult for the T side.
Timing again for Guardian. If he'd gone through spawn, he would have caught them all looking the wrong way. Instead, he's going to double back in towards the A site. We'll be able to call it open. You can see the rotation of Deledes already making his way back towards B. 50 seconds, though. Time is going to become a real issue for AVE. You can see Guardian hightailing it through spawn. Just switches to the shift to not give away the water sounds. Deledes first up, playing around this pillar. Drops back into Dig to give himself a nasty headshot angle. There's the first. Now that flank really starts to come into effect. Deagle swinging on the angle as well. It's a freebie for Clax, and Waterfalls out of nowhere. His 1v3, make it none v3. Clax with the Deagle spam gets it done. The response is immediate for Singularity, and AVE just stumbling on their early T-side rounds.
Yeah, this is just all around much better from Singularity. Nice shot from Clax. Deledes is keeping up his form that we seen him kind of build as Overpass went on. It's good signs, I've got to say. Could potentially be still looking at a 3-map series here. And I'd be pretty excited about that. I was just thinking, again, today we have 2 games that, with this one, in my opinion, so far, looking like this one should be competitive. It looks like we have slightly more even matchups, I suppose. But it's not as back and forth on the individual maps so far. It's been kind of one of those situations where a team controls for a while and it can just flip. At least that's how it seems to be going. AVE, though, they've still got a decent enough buy considering how that previous round went down. Had built a small bit up for themselves. You can see a limitation with the Galil in the hands of Sugar. Not too many nades to work with either. And, well, of course, Team Singularity not really getting too aggressive in this round. They've actually toned it down slightly compared to the previous one.
Wanting to use the firepower they've got. Lurk out from Sugar over towards A. He's going to be locked off. Taking this mid control consistently, but the backstab again is looking to be lined up. Norway this time is going to catch the timing. Rojin, how many times has he been caught looking the wrong way in that lane? He needs support. And already a man down now. C's using the crack angle to spot for information. He spotted the cross. Now they double peek into it. The damage is good. They're trying to split this A site, but Clax playing the headshot box will be able to shut it down. First frag his way. He's got support in towards short. Gets more damage onto Sviat before he goes down. They know they've got to try and get this bomb planted, but with 25 seconds left, they've got so little information, AVE, to work with. Bomb on the back of Sviat with no health. They're going to try and take this short control. Guardian is here and a crisp headshot for 1. Poria traded out in the exchange, and now Sviat with 8 HP is left in the 1v3. They've at least got the bomb down, but that feels like all they're going to be able to achieve here. Sviat's trying to be cheeky with it, playing around his own smokes, playing his angles. Tucked into the corner now. Smoke goes out onto the bomb. If he gives away his position with even 1 shot, this is done. Norway is sticking it inside of the smoke. He gets 1, sprayed out for 2, and now he's bought a little bit of time. Dancing around the temple, Sviat. He can't take a bullet or he's done. Dilades has spotted him. That bomb a long way gone, though, and playing the headshot angle. Dilades with the pre-fire. The spam down should be good enough. The defuse, it's going to be right down to the wire, but he will get it in. Singularity will have their 5th round. It takes a big 1v1 from Dilades, but at the end of the day, the extra damage done onto Sviat makes the difference.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt from Sviat. You've got to give it to him, considering he was so low on health as well, to even get it to the one-on-one, but it's unfortunate. I thought he might have actually spotted the player as he was taking those steps backwards, kind of through the hole that he ended up jumping through, but didn't seem so either way. With that low health, the pre-fire spam was just available. Well played by Dilades. Again, he keeps up his form. That was his only kill of the round, but it was a very, very important and necessary frag, of course, to stop things from beginning to spiral a bit out of control. Team Singularity, despite winning these rounds, obviously still aren't building up any sort of economy, so they're kept in a position where a single round win here for AVE is going to completely break them, which is a bit of an issue. They definitely do need to try and stabilize on this CT side. Slight bit of nade damage onto Sviat. Nothing crazy. It's looking like AVE want to move in towards lamps, and well, there's no one here right now. It's actually instead a player pushed up on mid that's seized with the AUG as well. See what he'll be able to do, but flanking through could be a little bit of an awkward one, especially with everyone from AVE actually just outside B right now. We'll have to see how the timings play out. Either way, though, execute being prepared, so AVE will be moving pretty soon. Again, Singularity, they begin to push forward, so they are getting the info of what's going on. They've actually got Guardian pushed up on mid now as well, also ready to join Seized on a quick rotate. Although they decide against that, they're going to get the op back around to try and help instead on the hold.
They know exactly where this is going. The aggression's gone all the way through A. Timing's going to be everything again for AVE. They're already being flanked out. Clax is on the timing. Execute comes in. Smokes to try and give them the cross. They go a little early, but Rajin through it will get the first. Bomb should be able to go down off the back of it, but already the fast flank looking to come into session. Sviat, no idea at all. It's going to be gunned down in the back. And Clax strikes from spawn for another. Waterfall's trying to stabilize things. Buys a 3v3. But they're stuck in the site, and they've got very little by means of an afterplant. They know Clax is lurking behind them. No real info on Guardian or Norway yet, expecting that they're behind the smokes. Clax is low, though. If Waterfalls deals with this, then it gets interesting. Has the control. Sugar in with a second, and Poria will be able to clean things up. AVE finally grabbed themselves a second, and again, the Singularity have consistently been going down to the last man. It will be a hard eco. Probably a force, in fact,
Hard
for the
force,
CT
yeah.
side.
They have 4 on the double ecos, though. It's pretty much just got to be the force for them. It's I mean, if it works for them, obviously they do even have an M4. If it works for them, it'll be fantastic because it's not like AVE have started to build up much money yet. They only won that round, but if it doesn't go their way, which let's be realistic is a little bit more likely, then AVE have an opportunity to really start building their way back into this. They'll likely be up towards 4 rounds already. And considering the start Singularity had, that would not be ideal. AVE though, I think they'll be happy to snatch it up. So we'll see how this one plays out for them anyway. Looking like a relatively standard default with a bit of a focus over towards A. They do only have Raijin, I believe, outside B for now. Making a bit of noise, just try not to make it too predictable since they have pretty much every other round had a player showing presence here. Sugar's miles ahead of the rest of the team. Could have been dangerous. He lands the shots on Clax, and well, with the smokes down, you can see the other man in towards the bomb site isn't really being given a lot of room to do anything with. And that's Guardian.
Yeah, he's stuck behind these walls of smokes, and a little surprised, in all honesty, not to see Raijin rotating somewhat quicker than he has, but just the one M4. Dealer would do well to save that. All the guys on Deagles have bought Kevlar. And at this point, given you are going to be ecoing into the next one, right, that's an absolute guarantee, and you're aware that there's no real way you're getting into that A-side take, trying to get away with what you can. Sounds like a solid move. Raijin will at least deal with Norway, but he's taken 2 Deagle shots to the chest, so now he's on 6 HP and potentially could be shipping another rifle the way of Singularity as they look to hunt him down. Dealer swinging wide on the side for the clearance. Raijin, I think, aware of what he's done, but Dealer is going to be able to grab him, and Guardian on the timing will nab the AK. So 2 rifles saved across. AVE, yes, they get a 3rd round, and they should get a 4th off the back of the conversion, but in my mind, feeding Singularity a little more than they should have done.
Yeah, don't want to be left in a position similar to what Singularity were, where they just never really built up any money in a single round, broke them down. So really that round was their chance to stabilise, as is this one sort of, but with a couple of weapons in play now for Singularity, things are going to be slightly dangerous for sure. We'll see if any further damage can be done, and well, I'm liking the aggression Guardian pushed up. He's actually got the majority of his kills so far with this AK, hasn't really had much of a chance to get going on the AWP, similar to back on Overpass. Obviously though, it is much earlier days here, and well, I do believe if he continues with that aggression, I was going to say, you should realise there's not much going on outside B, but they seem to have the read either way. They've begun that rotate over towards the A bomb site. Sees notes that the smokes are coming in, but what can they do? They actually decide to push forward. The Deagle doing some good damage. Norway and Guardian coming through to try and finish off some of those low health players. Unfortunately, though, once again, the smoke wall is going to keep them at bay for a moment, and honestly, I think they could probably wait this out, try and just snatch up a kill or 2, and then see how it goes from there, and indeed, Deledes manages to catch himself 1. Unfortunately, it is traded, but you've still got Guardian in the back, and, well, he's done some, or rather, received some decent damage there, and eventually he is finished off. I thought he landed a couple shots there during that exchange, but no, apparently not. The Dink must have kind of bounced his aim back.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there, Singularity. I said that extra rifle being passed across could have done some work for them, and it very nearly did. Guardian chucked into a 1v2, but again, just not quite able to leverage it. Dealer still absolutely flying. But AVE with a chance at a solid recovery now. Limited utility for the CT side. They've got the buyout, but there's no walk for Guardian. The rifles are somewhat limited. If they break it again, it will be another half buy. It's going to be aggression planned out from the CT side, looking to push their issue down the ramp. But Sviat this time is ready and waiting, and a quick double spray down punishes all the aggression. Immediately chucked into a 3-on-5 Singularity, and you can see they're desperate for info. Seized pushes all the way up dig. Not quite brave enough to take the peek in towards Lamps, but AVE, with plenty of time left on the clock, have just disconnected. Slow things right down. Looks like they want to try and lean towards that A side, but willing to wait and see if any over-aggression comes through, and Seized is going to walk right into it. Raijin with the freebie. 2v5 now. All AVE have to do is group and execute, and this round should be done.
Raijin should get the punish. Oh, no, actually ends up getting taken low. Needs to be cautious at this point, even though it is obviously the 2-on-5. You don't want to give any opportunities over. Clax has had some nice moments. Some nice shots with the pistol, back at the pistols especially. And we know what Guardian is capable of, even if it's not really being showcased as of yet. They line up for him, only actually getting the one himself. Clax was able to take the initial frag before he fell. And well, with Raijin still low, with a bit of damage done onto Sviat, Guardian, he seems to want to at least give this a bit of a shot right now. Problem being that molly runs down quite a few seconds and gives the space finally needed to get the bomb planted. Or at least should have done so. They took their time.
Miss smokes as well. Rotations were slow coming in. They know where Guardian is, but 10 seconds. Poria he's got to try and get this dialed in. Guardian's going to look for the denial. Oh, the body block does it. He deals with Rajin, but Poria, as his teammate goes down, will punch those numbers in. And now, 2 half HP players ahead of Guardian. Doesn't have a kit. There's not one on the floor, so he's got to get a bit of a shift on here. Smoke onto the bomb. Actually locks both of these players out in the temple. He needs an early pick, though. Nobody's showing face yet as he starts to think about sneaking out. And with no early pick found, you can see he's saying it with his crosshair. He knows where the bomb is. He wants to give it a go. But no kit, no utility, no real choice in the matter. AVE will have their 5th. And again, this saved rifle from Guardian will probably have to form the backbone of a half by a solid recovery coming in from AVE's T side. And yeah, as you look across, it's not going to be a great buy coming into the next for Singularity either.
It was a good attempt to try and pull it back, obviously, considering it was the 2-on-5 and in the end coming down to the 1-on-2, but unfortunate. Of course, with that, AVE now have managed to pull themselves back from what initially had been a 5-1 lead, I believe, for Singularity. 4-0 at one point even. So they are letting things slip a small bit, and obviously Singularity don't really have the room to allow that to happen. They need to take themselves victory here if they want to force it on towards Nuke and have a decider where, at least on paper, I think things that maybe slightly favour the boys of AVE. But it is certainly a map that Singularity are capable of playing. Even just having a look, actually, no, sorry, they played each other on this recently, and it was 16-3 to Singularity. What the hell? It was during the open qualifier, actually, for this. So that's some spicy details we've just found out right there. If they can be sent to a third map, there is a history in Singularity. They were the victors in it. Norvey, though, pushed up close here on mid. I don't think it's going to be expected. They've already distracted. His teammates have shown themselves, have done so much damage, they just didn't expect another man up close. And again, Guardian swings in to help out his teammate. This is what we need to see from Team Singularity.
Much better. Able to find the punishment on the half buy as well, which will really give that CT economy a kickstart. AVE fluffing their lines a little bit. Punishment comes through. This is sort of what we saw against Entropic as well. Lost the early rounds, a solid recovery, and then just lost control towards the death. Still looking to post up, though. Still able to afford the buy. Of course, winning those kind of half-buy rounds gives you so much cash left in the bank, and as a result, Singularity will be able to buy fully into this one. Guardian has the AWP. There's good utility across the board. Potential to find the immediate response. It's going to be a slightly faster set over towards the B bomb site initially. Sviat flash molly in towards Lamps. Fairly standard setup at the moment from the CT side of Singularity. It's going to be Norway and Dealades who are tested. No real utility out yet for AVE. They're just trying to contact their way in, but they've been spotted out. Norway dodges. Now Dealades looking to actually retreat. Gets his head ripped off. Poria with a clean opener. That's the B site to be taken as well. Molotov goes deep into CT to try and buy some time. The bomb starting to make its way up. Waterfall's going for an open plant. Over-aggression from Sugar is punished, though. And that levels things out 4-on-4. The flashes are excellent. Aporia continues to take advantage with the triple spray down out of nowhere. This round is a done deal. Seized is on the flank. He's looking for what he can find on the backstab, but even if he catches one player off guard, there's 3 more ready and waiting. He's going to tuck himself in. Hope that maybe he can find some exits down this ramp. And Poria, oh, of course, he's going to check it. All 5 kills. An ace in the round for Poria. A demolition job onto B. And this is the AVE we expect to see, right? These individuals, we've seen what they can do on Ancient. And they're starting to show up again here.
I mean, we're kind of getting everyone stepping up as well over on that side. Poria is kind of given his I guess, game to go ahead and step up and be the man leading the charge. It was Waterfalls in the last one. You had obviously a lot of help from the likes of Sugar and Raijin in that one as well. But it's just nice to see that really anyone can step up when it's necessary. Poria kind of struggled yesterday as well here on this map, so he kind of, I guess, wants to prove everyone wrong after not having the greatest of stats versus Entropic. Well, at least there initially. That 1-for-1, I would say normally a decent find, but with this being a slightly more limited buy for Singularity and with the damage now that they've also done on Raijin, they were really just looking for a 1-for-1 trade even. That eases the pressure on them slightly for lacking the nades, but well, it's not going to be a kill for Norway. Despite having the angle held, the dink is not good enough onto Sviat. Well, suddenly things do get a little bit dangerous, but again, that damage, it makes this Deagle a very dangerous weapon in the back of the bomb site.
Two players are one shot. Even going to grab himself the M4 now as he looks to aggress. Raijin tucked in that gun barrel. May have just given the game away. They're holding off, waiting for aggression. The CT side starting to collapse into them. Seized is on the flank once again. Need to be a little careful here, AVE, of the timings. Man in mid not expecting it. Seized will get the freebie. That's the high HP play. Sugar gone. Waterfall's now left to do a lot of the heavy lifting, despite it being a 3-on-3. Sevilla and Raijin are a breath from death in all reality, and two players ready and waiting here on the B site. Execute looks to come in. Waterfall's blinded up and dealt with, and now with 40 HP between them, Raijin and Sevilla, there's nothing they can do. Clack shuts down the first. Sevilla, he was really meant to be the insurance policy. He was meant to be holding for the rotations. Instead, with 20 seconds left, he's trying to work out where on earth he can save. He's not going to be allowed to. Singularity have 7. The back and forth continues.
Yeah, I mean, if Singularity can get themselves at least that 8th round, give us slight lead going into the second half, then I think they'll feel okay. But again, considering they were looking to have such a strong start with things going so well initially, it would be pretty nice if they could come out with the 9. And, well, honestly, if they managed to win this one, it would actually break AVE's economy going into the final round. So then they'd have a really good shot at taking the 9. So it's kind of all in at this point. Looking to be a quicker play as well from AVE on towards B. They're actually going to catch the bomb site itself open. Yeah, smoke down in towards Cave. Even manages to cut off the players who had got aggressive. Nice aggressive smokes then as well in towards the back lines. Gives them a strong after plant, although they aren't quite getting the bomb down yet. And that's a slightly goofed nade. Not what the lad has intended to do. Again, good damage onto waterfalls at least, but it's going to come into the 5-on-5 retake, and, well, this isn't something I've seen really towards this B-bomb site on Ancient. This is going to be absolutely chaos, or absolute chaos, rather.
Timings are going to be everything. Ooh. Seized on the backstabbers open things up. They've got a smoke down that cuts out the CT rotations, but the site is being taken. Norby traded 1-for-1, but again, all the frags are going the CT side's way. Sevilla tried to turn and believes Poria. Nothing he can do. Norby switches out to the Julies to get the final kill. Singularity have 8. That's not something you see every day, and a little unfortunate in all honesty. There were definitely some half chances there for AVE. They had the utility, but as Seized got that early backstab, it really started to unlock things. They were holding 3 angles at once, and just looked like they got their lines a little bit crossed. Exactly as you said, Dean. This buy now going to be very ugly indeed. Opportunity for a 9-6 half from Singularity, and they take that every day of the week.
Yeah, they'll snatch it up. Hopefully. I mean, things can still get a little bit dangerous. There is a few rifles in there, one of which is actually an AK on the Poria. Again, he's been playing fantastically so far. And even for the players who've gone down to the weaker weapons, being the pistols and the MAC-10, you can see that they've got a bunch of nades behind it. So, you've seen worse buys. AVE will definitely still have a shot at potentially stealing this one away. So, Singularity do need to be somewhat cautious. And, well, Seized, pushed up on mid. He's been spotted already, though. Bails out through lamps. That's probably the best idea. I believe he does want to stick around and see if he can snatch up a kill before he backs off. It's risky though, as I said. He notes there's an AK in the hands of Poria, so they do know one rifle at least is in play. But so far, Seized, he's done a decent job. He's done a tiny bit of damage, and I was going to say has massively delayed this push, but he ends up getting caught rather with the smoke in his hand. Raijin going to swing in for the second onto Deledes, and suddenly they have themselves a man advantage and a ton of weapons to work with.
More important than the man advantage is the fact they've managed to grab rifles. 3 players now fired up. Sugar doesn't quite have his jump bind right. They're looking to set up the nades in towards B, but Norby now aggressing behind this Molotov. Timing is going to be everything. Deagle spam catches him for a bit of damage, but not quite enough. Beautiful flashing gets Poria another. It's chaos once more, but 2v3. If Norby can stay alive on this ramp, it would be everything, but he turns at the worst possible time. Right when he needed to stay alive. Claxy's trying to clutch it up now with an aggressive play. He's got 2. Waterfall's the last to be faced. He somehow recovers it. 8-7. The narrowest of leads for Singularity on the map pick of AVE, as we see if they can force us to 3 in just a moment.
Yeah, they done told me to be myself. So when I went and found myself, the ones who told me back then be true to who I am ain't think we was really gonna win. Now they watching us from the sidelines while we trying to victories like we in high tides. I'm getting my prize. Only thing my eyes is locked in on. Half a milli mine. I want it right now. Don't waste my time. Family in a penthouse with a view sky high. Blood, sweat, and tears bring more to my eyes. Cause the whole gang winning. I done gave my life. Odds low, but we did it, ain't we? And we always moving, never on the same thing. Now our lives are highlight reel. We like the thrill. This life's ideal. The hype is real.
We know it. It's just the way we live. We own it. Cause that we love the thrill. We know it. It's just the way we live. We're grown-up kids.
Narrowest of leads for the half for Team Singularity, but are they putting up a solid resistance, some late rounds to really bolster their chances, and a big opportunity if they can establish themselves early on the CT side to take control of this series.
Yeah, that's looking to be the goal for Singularity, obviously, but AVE they were waking up. It was back and forth towards the end, to be fair. AVE obviously took that final round for themselves to salvage the situation into a slightly better one. But Singularity had also started to swing the rounds back in their favour just beforehand, so I'm unsure of who's going to have the early momentum. It really does come down to winning out this pistol round, and in terms of early frags at least, it is going to be slightly in favour of Singularity. The Ledes with the mad spins to confirm the bomb plant, and while he will actually get that down, now suddenly, I was going to say a 3-on-3, but Raijin, he's pushing through, looking for the heads, he's taking them all. 3 one-taps found already, and suddenly CIS is alone. He's going to move in quick. He can't do anything about that defuse being found, as the kit is in the hands of Sviat, or rather, sitting on the hip, I suppose. And, well, he's got a molly there, at least that's going to be saved over. That's a positive, I suppose, but we're tied up at 8-8. Great work by Raijin on that retake. Incredibly crisp.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do about that, in all honesty. It was 3 taps, 3 kills, and he just completely overwhelmed the site. Raijin looking crispy. And that levels things out from such a promising spot as well. AVE had almost entirely bit on the fake. They were heavily rotating players around, and Raijin just starting to try and salvage things. Comes out big. Force by, of course, with the bomb down. Will still be solid for the T side of Singularity. Handful of Galils. Norby the only player dropping down to an SMG compared to the 2 over on the CT side of things. And a big round for AVE here. These second round resets, arguably worse than losing the pistol for the CT side in this current meta. Absolutely essential that they do find the conversion. Do get themselves off on that right foot. It's going to be the early set towards B. Bomb lurking deep outside the B doors. And everyone just exchanging utility. There is an early nade bleed from the CT side. They've only got 2 smokes left now. HE goes in to try and chip away at some of those lamps players, and the timings now are going to be everything. Guardian's starting to prod and poke up short. Warrior on the crack angle spots him, but the spray's a little messy. And again, that's just about drawing the rotations away because the bomb is still outside of B. They've still got lane control. They're still playing towards lamps. It is going to be this crunch onto the B site. It's just a matter of time, and they're drawing the rotations away as well. There's only 2 MP9s home. With 35 seconds left on the clock, Raijin is trying to shoulder peek this best he can. So have it all really to do. Nori jumps through, a nice dink onto Guardian as well, but that MP9 is isolated. Clax even able to grab one in towards middle before he's traded and keeps it competitive in the 3-on-3. Spam through though. Raijin just beans Delades. Looking for the second, he will be punished, and back we are, 2-on-2. Guardian low and even lower, down to single digits. If Sugar deals with him, then it gets very ugly indeed for the T side, and now it's all on Seized. All those years of experience to try and play out this 1v2. They've got kits on the CT side, and they've got the spray down as well. Waterfalls gets the better of him. The CTs live to fight another day as they get their 9th.
Yeah, it was, again, nice little kill by Raijin. Denied a bomb plant, rather, but the Ledes, those spins on the bomb plant, I'm not sure how much they actually help with him, considering he still goes down. But a strong retake comes in for AVE. The bomb plant at least being a positive for Singularity, but they don't have enough to buy, unfortunately. They will, I was going to say, they will have to take an eco. No, they decide against that. They want to buy right in, and, well, with the current scoreline, I'm not sure how necessary it is. You know, 3 players managed to survive as well, so while you do have a chance to break that economy down, they're going to have a very strong buy in the present round. They're not very limited here, as you can see, with full nades behind everyone. So it's going to be tough for Singularity to break through in this one, but, well, that's the goal. They want to get it done now. They want to just even things back up at 9-9, start taking their own control and just start running away with a bit of a lead.
Big
And
kill.
I was going to say the only problem is it gives AVE a chance to do the same, but yeah, Poirier, he goes a bit mad up there on mid and gets caught trying to push through lamps. So a big frag for Norway, but he needs to fall back off with the damage that was done. And I was about to say Clax also isn't very healthy as they start pushing in towards A. Sugar sprays them down, not even needing a scope for 2 of those kills, but he eventually goes back into it and sees that walks right into the crosshair. It's an easy fort. The ace isn't going to be available, sadly, even though Norway is low health. He was just too far away, but what a round from Sugar.
That looked really well played from Singularity as well. With Norway getting the initial kill, you could see they couldn't really cheat any rotation, so it was an isolated fight for Sugar. He was alone over towards that A site. But a nasty little angle in towards Temple. The Org, as you said, switching between scoped and unscoped, gets the job done. Double digits up. Half by, finally, the sacrifice from Singularity. Deagle's Guardian, of course, on the Glock as he'll look for the AWP moving forward. A Tech 9 for Norway. Damage, the name of the game moving into this one. Anything they can do to take some of these rifles away would be a massive win for the T side. They need to start establishing themselves and they need to start breaking that CT economy. It's been a little back and forth so far, but they're starting to build up the bank now. Rajin, Sugar, all in decent spots.
I was wondering, it looked like they were considering the cave aggression and might still do so, but seized, what a shot! Revenge on Rajin, who's been the one normally dishing out those one taps. Even with that kill, they're still going to manage to get their way in towards one of these bomb sites, and at the moment they're not really ready to follow up on that. They've got 2 players over towards A main as well, who are actually, I think, starting to push forward a little bit, and could find a completely open bomb site if they do so soon. That one kill has managed to actually pull both of the A players, one of them over towards Donut aggressively, and the other just directly onto B. So this has left a massive hole in the defense, and as you can see, they are finally going to realize it. Guardian walking forward, he should make the call now that B seems to be open, or rather A seems to be open. But of course his teammate there, caught up on B rather, isn't able to get away with his life. So we're back in the 4-on-4. Waterfalls on the AK, going to start snatching some kills, and it looks like things are going to be handled by AVE in the end. Unless maybe Norway and Deleta still have something to say about it. At least a bomb plant here would be nice.
So that's on 12 HP. They need to get this done. Oh, Sugar, critical kill. They needed that. Norway's still going to try and make a charge in. Does deal with the first. AK in hand. And with Sevilla and Sugar both tagged up now. If they take 1v1s, there's half a chance. But the spray just not quite able to get it done. AVE, by the skin on their teeth, are getting through these rounds. As you said, massive holes being left over towards the A side of things. And that does mean that the reinvestment here is going to be significant. They haven't been able to build the bank up quite as they would have liked on the CT side. And if Singularity could get this one over the line cleanly, life could very quickly get very rough for AVE.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could honestly goes both ways. If Singularity lose it as well, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble with AVE starting to get towards that finish line. Yeah, hopefully for Singularity's sake, the damage is something that they can capitalize on at least. Looking like a slightly more standard round, at least from the CTs this time. 2 over towards A, 2 on B, 1 man just watching the mid push, and well, we haven't really been seeing a lot of mid control from Singularity. They've been more so splitting out on this default. Obviously there hasn't been a ton of gun rounds as of yet, so we can't really judge too much. So far just holding on outside B, expecting lamps aggression, expecting maybe some pushes up on mid. But we're seeing a relatively also passive hold on that CT side from AVE, so they're just not really getting a lot of clashes in the opening moments.
Don't mind it. They've bled out a ton of the CT utility early. Handful of flashes and 1 smoke, all that's left, and it means that there's no cheating a rotation for AVE either. They're going to turtle on their respective sides, and it's going to be all on these 3 men to hold down B, as with 40 seconds left, the execute starts to line up. Guardian flash back off his angle, but he's going to have another bite at it. CT smoke to give him a little bit of breathing room. That Molly tries to flush waterfalls out into the open. Sevilla playing the smoke, but Dealer is up to the challenge. And with that man advantage, the site is theirs. Norway pushes proactively, smoke down, but waterfalls through it with Rajin in support. Managed to grab a couple. Bomb to be planted now by CIS. The nade to go in to try and deal with Rajin, but they've not quite found him. Instead, CIS has just straight wallbanged down the orb of waterfalls. Somehow they're keeping themselves in this Singularity. 3-on-3 with the site under their control. The ramp play from Klax is everything, and he's got the first. Sugar look to swing. They're losing men left, right, and center. Poria to try and stabilize, but he's only got one. The bomb already halfway ticked. He knows where both of these players are, but down to 22 HP. There's nothing he can do but run. Singularity, the immediate response, and now you start to look over at that CT economy and some big questions start to be asked.
Yeah, you said it was going to be broken down off the back of that one, and, well, maybe saving the AK gives them a bit of a chance if they wanted to force things up, but I don't think it's really required at this stage. You've got the 11-9 lead still. Maybe get a couple of pistols through, but even then I don't think they want to be investing a ton into this one. Try and prioritize just getting back onto those guns as strong as they possibly can, and as soon as possible with that as well. Singularity, they snatch up their opportunity. We said they needed to capitalize on the damage, and well, they've done so in pretty good fashion there as well. A strong hold on the afterplant, as you said, between the three. What are AVE deciding on? They obviously have that one AK, so they're going to have at least a small discussion, I'd imagine, about what they're going to do with that now. A lot of the focus likely to be on what's the plan for the next gun round that's coming up. They have a molly on Poria as well, so I'd like to see what they're going to try and do with this, because you definitely need them to get some early kills if they want to have a chance, especially with how little they're investing.
Half by, maybe. 1900 loss bonus. The next round's still not going to be great, but I don't want to send it fully, so Poria, he'll have the saved AK. There'll be a handful of pistols, and, well, it will really all be on Poria here. He's going to charge up mid for the opening control. Wants to take the initial fight over the top of the molly. It's very awkward. He gets damage. Takes a dink through the wall in response, however. Aggression over towards A has been well timed as well. Waterfall should be able to get a decent amount of info off of this. Sugar will make the rotation across on the Deagle. Still the rifle lurks in towards mid though. And now the timings are everything. Sugar spam opens up. They're not going to clear Waterfalls. How long does he hold this? How brave is he? He spotted out two. Seized his low HP as well. They turn at the worst possible moment, but he gets two Waterfalls off the P250. Diladez manages to drag it back, and he's taken the rifle out of the equation as well. A couple of upgraded pistols, all that's left for the CT side, and Sugar's been forced back. They wanted to believe, but 2v3, it's still a default USP for one. Rajin doesn't dare push in yet. There's still time for Singularity to double back and retake the situation. There is a ton of rifles in towards the longhouse, and that could be the deciding factor here. Sugar still posted on the cross. Bomb on the back of Diladez is starting to clear its way back out, and Rajin not going to be tested. He wants the utility instead. A Molotov to try and flush one more of these angles away. There is a defuse kit available for that CT side in towards the temple as well. How critical could that be? Molotov down into short. Should give the game away. Plant to come in for Diladez. He's down to 31. He's one shot to the shoulder for this D. Rajin will make his way in on that recovered AK-47 now, and the timings are going to be everything. Diladez on the site. The first issue, but he has no idea about this long flank. If Rajin goes in quickly enough, it's a free backstab for one, and then it leaves Klax with it all to do, and Diladez, no idea. Klax, what have you got for us, mate? 1v3 required. They have no idea where to look. They know there's a kit in towards Temple. That should be recovered now, but Klax has got one. They don't have a smoke to lock him off. Sugar is going for the full defuse, and he's just going to be tapped away. The time just isn't there. They haven't got the kit, and Rajin is being played like a book, read beautifully by Klax. A desperate situation, just about recovered a smoke, and they may well have won that AVE, but not quite. Singularity bring the gap down to 1.
Fantastically played from Klax right there. Just creating the angles at the end. I mean, it was very difficult for, unfortunately, the last CT there to actually try and cover off his teammate, just because really the peak could come in on either side, and there's such tight angles that it's pretty difficult for him to actually see the player, even when the peak does come in. As we see in the shots kind of just tap through on the gap from Klax getting the kill. Confident in the actual plant position. This is looking like overall a much stronger Singularity team, obviously, than what we got back on the previous map. Communication and all. Oh, Norvy's beat out that molly. Just as Raijin backs off into the spawn side of things, I was going to say it could allow him to pass the bomb site with timing, but no. Raijin perfectly in as he catches the slow walk up the ramp in the end, and, well, really doesn't have any trouble with that at all. Smokes, though, still coming in onto B, so this is where they want to end it. It is where they want to make the early commitment, but they just can't get past Raijin. A second frag being found, a smoke dropped now. It stops Guardian from being able to get any vision with that AWP, rather, but he's going to try and stick the bomb plant. The issue being they still have 2 players in cave. That's your teammate. What the hell's for you? Did he just hear the AK and panicked? I think that's what
confusion.
It was. We'll forgive him.
It has to be. 2v4. They've got the site still, but they've got to clear out this cave angle. Saviat goes well 1-for-1, and suddenly, once again, Clax 3v1. This time against the rifles. He's not going to land it. Raijin doing all the heavy lifting. As you said, it looked like Norway was going to catch the timing, but as he rotates into the long lane, he catches the transition for 1, does very well to react to the man in Ninja for the second, and from there, he set his teammates up beautifully. 3-on-4, a solid hold from the CT side, and once again, the half-buy coming out for Singularity. AVE starting to stretch their legs on this CT side, rather. They want to make it the 2-0. It's going to be a handful of Deagles against them. Seized and Guardians sticking around on the Glocks. How much damage can they really expect to get done? Norway is charging into lamps at the moment. Takes the opening control for free at the very least, but a very spread T side.
Yeah, and I don't really love the spread T sides when you've only got pistols to work with. I prefer when they try and work those together, and to be fair, that's looking to be the plan now. They have started to move back in towards mid together, but unfortunately that's as they've already lost a player to the op of Waterfalls. Quick pick found. I don't think the blood went over like one certain piece of the wall right there. That was really strange. And on mid, there was like an artifact on the actual wall, and I just don't think it can have blood on it, so it just kind of like, yeah, we'll just paint all around it.
Raijin.
Yeah, with the AUG as well. This is the weapon you want for the hold here, but as I say that, obviously his smoke comes down, and well, now he has no vision.
Drops his own smoke to try and give himself a little bit of room. Feigns the idea that he could have pushed through it. Not going to be the case. Steelers again trying to get that bomb down. This time we'll at least be able to get it planted. Damage done onto both him and Guardian. 4-on-5. At least got the bomb down. That's the real money maker. As Saviat starts to thin the numbers, the utility should be there. The firepower definitely is to make this retake a reality. Iladez and Clax just looking for anything at all, but Raijin is having none of it. Clax last alive. In towards Dig. Gives away his position. Shots cleanly connected. AVE will have 13. Wasn't expecting too much from that one in all reality from the T side of Singularity, but they get the bomb down. That will give them a very strong buy headed into this one. Starting to run out of chances, though. Gap at 3, and lifelines are getting very low for Singularity.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand at this stage. As I had said, although this is a map that it's not their choice rather coming in, it is one that they've played a bit, and they tend to go really close with all teams on it. I think all of their losses have been 16-12 or 16-13, so they could be in theory on track for another scoreline like that, but they definitely don't want it to be the case. Guardian catches the flick on the Sugar in the back there. Decided against taking the kill to onto Waterfalls. Of course, leaving the opportunity for a trade at least to come in. So it is going to be a 1-for-1, but I think Singularity rather will be okay with that. The wallbang, not quite on point. A little bit off. Tiny bit early. Again, the timing though on the push coming in towards A this time. Poirier in towards Dono still may be able to get something done, as it doesn't even seem like they're expecting this. So yeah, the AUG is going to have pretty much a free kill. But the bomb has been planted much easier this time. And thankfully so, because Norvi and Deledes weren't there. So it's going to take them a moment to rotate into position.
Still a long way away as well. They're only just making their way out. CT side being slow with it is helping them. And now Norway's flank starts to become a real issue. Trying to make their way onto the site. The flashbang not going to clear Big Box. Seized on the headshot angle will open things up. That flank from Norway into Donut is now open. Singularity, these afterparts are far too good. Far too clean from Dealadez. The response is immediate from the T side. They get the rifles out. They know exactly what to do. A couple of nice timings. A couple of big picks. But 11 on the board. And a huge call to be made here from AVE. They're on 1900 loss bonus. This is all or nothing. They're going to drop the AWP. They'll be limited in their utility. Saviat will have to pick up an MP9 so he can get the extra nades. This is do or die time now for the CT side.
Yeah, no, this is actually pretty fragile position for AVE to be in, considering how the CT side has been going for them so far. Really didn't have any sort of money built up. You can see, as you said, an MP9 even being in play here, and if they lose this, probably tied up at 13-13. Looking a bit different, though, to how a lot of these previous gun rounds have been approached. It looks like they might move, I was going to say potentially even a bit faster towards A, but it is going to be just the mid-smokes coming down. Seen this a couple of times, to be fair. I think more so from AVE. They were enjoying actually the creep out mid and into the sniper nest to give them options for the split towards either of the bomb sites. Well, we might see a similar approach now from Singularity. Perhaps just leaving Norvi, I believe, up there in the sniper nest at the moment, if they wanted to, rather. Could then move in towards A. So they've got a lot of options open, really is the point I'm going for right now. I seem to be hoping that AVE are going to be, I guess, peeking through and giving them some opportunities here to snatch up a kill. And while they are doing so towards B, it's not going to be happening around mid. So they do need to start moving forward. And they need to go quick because the flank is already on. And while Poirier, he's putting in a good hold from the back of the bomb site. 3 on the AUG before he eventually falls. But again, as I said, that flank is right behind them.
Sviat with a free kill. Guardian completely unaware. Leaves C's. Nothing he can do as Waterfalls rotates in. Again, it's the AUG, which is the hero of the hour over on that A side. This time it's Poirier, but reminiscent of the hold previously from Sviat, just spamming down. All too easy for him, and he just able to pivot between those two angles. The A site on Ancient has just got so many open sight lines that it's free reign, right? As soon as they're into that site, the AUGs have just got too many sight lines without the smokes, without the flashes to keep them blind. It's all too simple, and AVE now 2 rounds away from a big result. It's going to be fast lane control from the T side. Guardian looking to press the issue, but the molly, their nade and the bullets combine. They open things up. The mollies will continue to trade as Norby does at least deal with Sviat. But the man advantage is already there for the CT side. If they can just trade this one down efficiently once again, they're in a fantastic position to close the door.
Yeah, more like slam it, with the style that they can be going out with. The Ledez, despite the damage he's received, he's still got the Zop in his possession, and he's been having a very strong performance overall, even if it hasn't necessarily been on this big green gun. But now could be the moment for him to try and work some openings and give his teammates some hope to get back into this round. They are pretty much fully focused on bringing this in towards B eventually, just waiting for that smoke to fade away to get a bit of vision, and well, now you'd imagine they will have to start moving forward, not having all that much time, and knowing that AVE love to go aggressive late round especially. It hasn't happened now. So there's no flanks coming through, thankfully, in this round like the prior one. And, well, they're actually going to walk straight into the bomb site without even really being spotted. Raijin had taken a very passive hold from him behind the pillar. And it turns out to be the right call as he taps the heads on that M4A1S. And actually gets his third one slightly stolen by Waterfalls. But he doesn't care. As long as they're getting the round wins, they're up to 15. They have map and serious point here as AVE are on the brink of qualifying.
And this buy is going to be, let's be honest, awful. The Singularity, they don't have any money. Handful of SMGs, maybe even dropping down to the pistols to allow themselves to get the utility. May as well use all those timeouts. Haven't used any of them yet. Need to work out exactly how you're going to play this round because AVE, as you said, have looked solid. There's been a couple of slip-ups along the way, but this CT side has been a completely different beast to what we saw coming up against Entropic. Pauses will be burnt. I've got to admit, Dean, this feels a little bit like when you were a kid and you were playing online FIFA and you're losing in the 90th minute. So you use all your pauses to try and make your opponents rage quit. It is starting to feel a little like that from Singularity. I didn't do it. People did it to me.
Oh. Okay,
yeah,
I was going to say you must have been bad at FIFA.
Oh, I was. I was trashing it. That's why I play CS.
Yeah, I'm not great. I'm better than I should be, considering I don't really put much time into it. But no, I'm intimidated by playing the online modes on it. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people just live on those. I'd rather just play versus the AI and have a bit of fun when I'm playing games like FIFA. I get my competition, as you were saying, from the likes of CS, shooters. I like racing games as well. They're fun. Playing a bit of the F1 game lately.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah, it's addicting just trying to beat your times and such, obviously.
That's what I say. AVE are looking to speedrun this one. Here comes the buy from Singularity. It's a little better than I expected, to be fair to them. They do manage to scramble an AK, a Galil. Handful of MAC-10s to get the utility behind them, but this is still very, very rough for the T side. And Zave have the kitchen sink buy, AWPs, rifles, saved AKs on 2 players, full utility to work with. It's going to take a little bit of magic from somebody to get them on the board, and Guardian doesn't have that magic gun. Relegated to a MAC-10. Early pushes for an A split. 3 players about to wander out mid, which, to be fair, AVE haven't really been playing, so they'll get that map control for free, and as they look to storm into Donut, it is only Sugar and Waterfalls here. No fast rotation. Waterfalls spots one on the cross, but the flashes are good. Now he's got to flick up. Deals with the first. Sugar to be activated behind the big box. It's a 1-for-1 from Seized. The Waterfalls is still here, and the rotations now are making their way in. That bomb has actually been dropped. Deep out long, they're going to try and flash themselves in. Waterfalls with the timing shot connects, and this is falling apart. Temple control fought for in the meanwhile. Rajin with a free backstab. Guardian's got no idea. It's over. 16-11. RV, they take themselves the 2-0 in fine form as well. And for